Welcome to the second of both runs here at Kimball Farms in Westford, Massachusetts. I do this on the fly. Anyway, we did the waterfall run. And over here we're standing next to the practice green, and you can practice. Oh, I do that. And we can suck right away. We did okay on the last one. We got 8 over. Not too bad. However, one of the holes we've always thought was a 3 is they got a new sign and they got it as a par 2. And since it matches par 3s more than it did 2s when we didn't know, we're going to stick with that until the new signs. So now we're going to be doing the Forbidden Mine, the tougher of the 2. And here we go. Hole number 1, par 2. We start here. There's an obvious way to go. Right to the hole that way. Or somehow you might prefer to go the long distance route. We got roly-polies here. They seem fairly even. Here to the hole. I think they have changed this one out.
Here we are starting the first hole. There's the swing and down the obvious path, bouncing off the walls quite a bit, and quite a distance from the hole. Uh-oh, quite a distance. This is for par. Very long stroke. There it goes, and ooh, just by the hole. For 1 over.
Hole 2, par 2. We start here. And it's a dog leg to the left, fairly flat. It seems so simple. But then we have some slight downhills more on the left than on the right. Over to this hole that seems so friendly and unintimidating.
There have been worse starts. Let's see how this one goes. There she goes off the left wall, bouncing everywhere, and going down the hill. Set up for another somewhat long shot. This is for par, not quite as long. There it is, and right by the hole.
Hole number 3, par 3. We put our stuff down. Then we do the hole. Here we go. And before we do, I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning of each episode. It is stuff that we already know anyway. No more than 5 players, who cares? All players don't care. Ball beam number 4. Ball can be moved a putter's width from the side. Ball leaves playing area. Place at point of departure. 1 stroke penalty. 6 limit stroke per hole. Pardon the jitters. I have nothing I can do about that. Par 3, hole 3. You start here. Slight bump here. You can kind of see it in the picture. Otherwise, it's a slight gradual climb. A little hump here. A little incline here, and a slight recess right about where I'm standing, leading to the hole.
First shot. So far an okay run. Right up the middle, bouncing off the wall. Ooh, this looks good. This is for birdie, and we got it.
Hole 4, par 2. I'm glad they fixed or replaced these signs. They were pretty bad. Anyway, I don't think I can tell you which way the hills are going, because you can clearly see from the brighter colors which way the hills are going down unevenly, and a slight uphill here, which then goes down again. You go to the left, you're probably going to meet our friend Mr. Rock. You go to the right, it banks really hard this way to the right. and then a steep drop, a little downhill there to the hole.
Now things are getting a little better. Here's the first shot, way off to the right, bouncing off the walls and going left down the hill, bouncing off the rock and somewhat close to the hole, and it stays. This is for par, again somewhat long and right by the hole. This is for bogey, not much closer, and ooh, the hill took it away.
Hole number 5, par 3. This is the course that tends to give me the worst of luck, and I usually never do well here. I think I did once, did okay. It's fairly flat, but we got a hill right at the very end because you got to jump this crevasse. Don't want to land in it or off to the sides. A couple of roly-polies, slightly less to the right. Slightly less transition there and there, but you got a big bump there. Hit the camera tripod there. To the hole.
Need to recover from that double bogey. Here's the first shot of this hole. Almost right down the middle, over the bumps, off the back wall. Ooh, so close to the hole, but set up quite well.
Hole number 6, par 2. Put our stuff down here. And simple enough. Although we got a big hump there, you can see that. And a slightly less bigger hump there. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward shot to the hole.
The last hole helped recover a little bit. Next shot. Pretty good. Almost hits the small rock and lands close to it. This is for par. It's heading towards the hole, and it goes in.
Hole 7, par 3, waterfall. And we go up the fairly even hills, except we got a hill there. And we got a big bump here and a steep decline there, which could send your ball in there with a 1-stroke penalty. Once you're there, outside of the typical unevenness of concrete when it's poured, pretty flat to the hole.
First shot. That water hazard is a problem. Aims to the right, bounces off the wall, ricochets off the border. Ouch. Second shot, or a very tough birdie, and ooh, very close. Gotta climb a somewhat steep hill to get to the hole, and the hill does it in.
Hole 8, par 3. The nemesis of this entire course. The one I hate the most, the one that gives me the hardest time. You go right, which seems easier, or go left, which is the way you really want to go. And you got the hill tilting this way to force it into this rock abutment here. If you can make it without hitting that and get up all the way here, we have a nice grooved area here to help bring you right to the hole. Otherwise, the direct route is not possible because it's blocked by this fence. Now to get to the hole.
If we can get over the hill or by the rock, things should be fine. And over the hill we go, bouncing off the wall and close to the rocks. For an unlikely birdie, and it happens.
Hole number 9, par 2. There's a couple that's going way faster than I am, and it kind of shows because they're literally rushing and screwing up really bad. But they're getting it done fast. Hole 9, par 2. We start here. This is one of those multi-hole dealies. You got 3 holes. You got this one, and this one that's obviously high is the one you want. At that point, I believe the high one ultimately winds up going in that thing, which then ultimately, if I am correct, I've never really seen where that one goes. Actually, they may not be a good one because that hits Mr. Rock. And the one closest here hits Mr. Rock. So probably that one there, I don't know where it goes, but you got this hump over here, relatively flat outside of the concrete, settling thing that always happens. Right to the hole.
First shot. I aim for the high hole, which it does not go to. Bounces off the rock and goes into that hole, for which it goes, very close to the hole. That might have been the one we wanted. For an easy par. There it goes, and past the hole. For 1 over. There it goes, and by the hole again. Double bogey. Up the hill and down. The first half had some surprises. Some good, some not so good. The infamous hole number 8, which has the steep hills, usually that's the big problem. But we actually made it 1 under because we went over the right hill and we were very close to the hole to begin with. And the big surprise is hole number 9, which went way over par due to the fact that the hole is sitting on top of a hill. Other than that, it would have went just fine. So as you can see, we are 5 over par for the first half. And as you see in the light green, 22 is the target par that we want. We are at 27. Once again, 5 over. How will the second half go? Let's find out.
And the downward spiral begins. Hole 10, par 3. You got no choice. You got to hit the log. You got to hit which one of these 2 holes. You want the one on the right. The one on the left brings you to Mr. Rock. The one on the right brings you to the hole.
These narrow target holes tend to be a problem. There it goes, going off to the side, and then down the proper one, and hole in 1.
Sorry for not doing the rabbit in the hole routine for a good hole, but there are people behind me and we're starting to stall them a little bit, so the zoom in is what you're going to get. Hole 11, par 2. Not really a direct line of sight from here, unless you go way to the edge, for which it's slightly recessed in the middle. We got another friend of ours named Mr. Rock. Plenty of them in this place. But you want to stay to the left to get to the hole of Echo.
Setting up the first shot way to the right to avoid the rock, only to hit the border and bounce off the other border and by the rock. We're lined up for a good shot. This is for a very long par. There's a shot and right by the hole. This is for bogey. Nice gentle tap, but too light.
Hole number 12, par 2. Into the mine we go. Oddly enough, the hole that's themed around mines, there's only one hole that's in the mine. We go down these stairs, which is not part of the course. Sony doesn't like to play autofocus around here. We start here. And we'll have to set autofocus, apparently. We go that way. This beautiful mine. It is a nice little feature. Anyway, it's fairly straightforward. Slight dip on the left. Pitches slightly to the right where I'm standing. I'm not bothering to show you because I can't even see it myself. I'm feeling it. And then downhill slightly more on the right side before the left to the hole.
There's the first shot. A little off to the right. Just barely missing the wall. Bouncing off the back wall. Pretty good shot. This is for par. There's the swing, and it's in.
The downward spiral, we know it's coming. Lucky 13, par 3. There is a direct line of sight to the hole right where I'm standing. Hills slightly more advanced this way, but other than that, fairly consistent. A little flat over there. A little more gradual there than here. To the hole.
First shot, set up to go straight through, off to the left, and bouncing off the pillars. This is a tough shot, and it's going downhill, and it settles. This is for an unlikely par, going up the hill, and it goes in.
Number 14, par 2. We start here, and this is our decision maker as we go down these hills. You want to go to the left, which will be really difficult, or just let the ball follow the wall on the right. You make the turn. Unfortunately, it'll send you further away from the hole than you want to go, and your target is the hole.
First shot. This is a tough hole because there's no direct access. Bouncing off the wall, bouncing off the rock. And in a bad spot there. No chance for par. Let's just see where the ball winds up. Ricocheting off a couple walls. Not too bad. For bogey, the only realistic shot, and too weak.
Hole 15, par 2. Seems that people behind me are on pace with me, or every now and then speeding up and slowing down. A little breezy because of the waterfall, which is beautiful. You hook to the right. You don't want to hit that rock face there. Over there, maybe. It's fairly even hills, except you can see it's a little more gradual here, and then it's pretty much a straight one here. You're locked in at that point towards the hole.
First shot, starting way left to make things easier. Bouncing off the right wall. And missing the rock, going down hills, and ooh, almost was a really good shot. That sets us up for par, and in it goes.
Hole 16, par 2. Big waterfall, a lot of wind. Start here. You got your choice of going to the left or going to the right. Seems the left might bring you to the hole. The right one, if you play it towards the far right side and work your way left, you might get it to the hole. And because of the way the water is, we're just going to leave the camera back here.
First shot, a very difficult hole to get. There it goes over the hills, and ooh, so close. This is for par. The hole is slightly on an uphill and way to the right. This is for one over. Now the hole leans downhill and we miss.
Hole 17, par 2. They caught up to me again. But then again, I'm doing math and visual presentations and everything like that. We start here. It's fairly straightforward. Little dip here. Low point here, high point there, crevice here, and a drop to the hole.
First shot, again off to the side for improvements, and it curls left, hits the wall and brings it somewhat close to the hole. Going for a somewhat long par, and ooh, right by the hole.
Here it is, the true bane of my existence. Hole 18, just take the 6 and call it. So we start here. And we gotta get in one of these 3 holes. I believe the hump in the middle is the one you're aiming for. Because once you hit that, come down to the 2nd tier. One of those over there gets you in a favorable position for the proper hole. I forget which one it is. Which then you go to the 3rd tier. You come out one of these 2 holes down there to this very crooked hole of no return that's on the side of a hill.
First shot, always going for the hump in the middle. Ball winds up anywhere else. And away it went. And it looks like it's going down that way. Which now we find out that it brings us to a fence. Second shot, going for the obvious hole and missing. This is for par, which is not likely. Down the hole it goes to the 3rd tier. And far side, but on the downhill. Going for 1 over. The good thing is it's on a downhill, and it goes in. Well, things could have gone a little bit better, but we'll take it. There were a couple of really rough patches like hole number 10 and hole number 16 where we went 2 over. The saving grace there was hole number 10. We got 2 under. In fact, it's a hole in 1, a very surprising one because the ball was going the wrong way. Then it just happened to go down the right pipe and make a hole in 1. Quite a surprise. Another surprise is the hole that typically does me in, hole number 18, outside of one really bad shot that went to the side, we actually got 1 over instead of taking the 6. There were a few times we got screwed over as well. So, as you can see in the grand total, the ultimate par is 43, which you want to hit, and we are 10 over, making 53. And because we have got screwed a couple of times, I'm going to slightly upgrade my performance to meh. There were a few good moments, there were definitely bad moments, and there were definitely moments that we got robbed. And there you have it. That will conclude the 2019 season of Watch Me Suck at Mini Golf, intentionally uploaded with a delay per usual, more so for the obvious reasons. From Kimball Farms in Westford, Massachusetts, this is George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.